Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Q Lads channel. We are back again with another match of the URC. This one, Sharks versus Benetton. Now already, we have seen two South African sides get themselves victories. The Stormers, away from home, beating the Dragons. And in that last game between the Bulls and Glasgow, as close as it got, the Bulls still able to get themselves the victory. Looking through at the way that the URC table sits. Now, this was up to date with the exception of that last contest. The Bulls now move up to 56. Glasgow now move up to the 60. But for this game, the Sharks, they are sitting on 23 points. And unfortunately, their chances of making the quarterfinals are pretty much behind them. They can cause a little bit of disruption here. Benetton sitting in 9th. They're on 44 points. If they get themselves the win here, the Sharks, that may just do enough for either the Ospreys or the top 8 to be confirmed as what it currently is. But looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for the Sharks, it is a very strong look inside. Oxnasher, Bongia Manambi, and Vincent Koch will be the front row. Eben Etzebeth and also Raal as the locking duo, with James Venter, Gurvan Hrubala actually going to be playing 7, which is a little bit of a change. Most of the games we have seen him playing either 4 or 5. Now gets that opportunity in the loose forward trio. And then Vincent Tichuka, of course, going to be at number 8, rearing to go. Lots of meters to be made by that man, I believe, throughout this contest. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets himself a try. Grant Williams and Masuku will be the 19 combo. Of course, when we talk about cool, calm, collected customers, Masuku, the performance that he put on in the Challenge Cup up against Clermont, getting 8 from 8 kicks. They won by 1 point. So that was definitely the difference maker there. Francois Venter at 12 with Lucanio Am on the outside at number 13. The Makazole Mapimpi, Werner Koch and Apelele Fassi will be the back 3 that are made up. And they are a very strong, formidable back 3 for this game. Looking through at the other side of the equation, Benetton, Zani, Lucchesi and also Ferrari will be the front row for this matchup. Alongside them, Canoni and Snyman will be the locking duo. Ezeko at 6, Sebastian Negri at 7, and Lorenzo Canoni is there as the number 8. Uren will be the starting 9 with Marin at 10, Inacio Brex in the midfield with Manoncello, and then Onisi Ratave, the Fijian superstar. Keep a close eye on that man, as he certainly knows how to score tries. Also Mendy out on the other wing, and Smith is there as well, just to add a bit more oomph to this overall side. But Vincent Tichuka, of course, like I mentioned, going to be one to watch out for. Lorenzo Canoni, he falls into that exact same category when we look through at the side for Benetton. Now, I should also mention that Benetton come in as underdogs, and I think that a lot of people feel this is going to be a low-scoring, close game. But I think once the Sharks start to find their rhythm, we could actually see quite a high-scoring affair on the cards. But do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gentlemen. If you are wondering what these two sides have done recently, Benetton, in their game of the semi-final in the Europeans Challenge Cup, they were defeated by Gloucester, who do go on to the final to face none other than, of course, the Sharks. Whereas for the Sharks, they were able to get themselves the victory over Clermont. 32 points to 31, like I mentioned. 8 from 8 kicks going over. That is the kind of impact that can completely change a game. I feel like this one, it is going to be a very entertaining contest when these sides take to the field, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You'll be in here for this contest. It's a hard one to predict, but I'm optimistic that it's going to be a great game of rugby between these two sides. And if it isn't, I'll be a little bit disappointed. But I do hope that it is a very good game for this matchup. One moment, we will go like this. We will go like that. There we go. We are all good. Ready to go for this contest. Looking through at the chat, we here, mate. Says Sebastian, welcome in. And we're the lads at Says Gareth and Benetton are from Italy. They certainly are, and they've got a little bit of Italian flair at the moment, actually playing some very good games of rugby as of late for this Benetton side. They are just outside of the top 8, like I mentioned, finding themselves ranked 9th at the moment. Hi, the Sharks, 57 compared to Benetton with the 10, says Eddie in there as well. And we have got there Erasmus, you got lucky, says Steve Worley. And I'm a bull, and I will support the Sharks here, says Erasmus. And also crossboarding, I hope your team pitch up, says Arthur. But this game just around the corner from starting up. It is the kids round, I believe, of the URC. So we are seeing quite a few kids making their way onto the field with the players, which is great to see. The future of these nations and also of these teams. Perhaps we will see future superstars make their way out onto the field today. I'm good here. It's 10:05 a.m. and Sharks 73 to Benetton's 10. I tell you what, that's a prediction and a half, isn't it? So you're going that big. 70 points. It's a hard one. You know, I don't know whether or not it's going to be possible. And Benetton 10, let's go the Sharks, says Brian. Like, don't get me wrong, the Sharks, now that they have pretty much no chance of making it to the quarterfinals, that may actually benefit the way that they play. They might be a little bit more aggressive in their style and just really look to cause upsets, ruin other teams' opportunities of making it further in the competition, help out their South African counterparts in terms of the Lions, who, if we look at the table once again, ladies and gentlemen, for where they sit at the moment, the Lions, they are in 11th. So a win here for the Sharks would heavily help the Lions with their chances of making the top 8. So, you know, the Sharks, yes, they cannot make it far, but maybe they can do enough to help one of the other sides from South Africa progress just that little bit further in the competition. Looking through at the benches for these two sides. For the Sharks, it is Fezambata, Machuno, and Handro Jacobs. Also, Lavaskachny is in there alongside the backs. Of course, Viota Chamberlain, one to watch out for, with Cameron Wright coming onto the field. More than likely, in the closing moments of this game, they do like to give a lot of minutes to Grant Williams, which is fair enough. He is a sensational talent for Benetton. They have got Jacob Umang to come off the bench, Ziliochi in the front row, and also Zanon as another one of the back replacements, where both sides now are out on the field. Did you see Fiji got smashed by Western Force? I did. Not the game that the Fijian draw would have been after. This is why I hate signing up to new stuff. Have no idea how it works, and then I want to smash the laptop on the floor, says Mr. Orlin. Did you see Fiji? Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Alokanyawami is on the field. I couldn't believe how 3 minutes changed everything, says Steve Wally. Yeah, that game between the Bulls and Glasgow was really strange, to say the very least. Like, the fact that in that contest, we did end up seeing what looked like a certain win for the Bulls turn into a lot of panic in the closing moments of that match. I mean, it meant for an entertaining finish, but not so much for the Bulls. I feel like there would have been a lot of nervous energy out there on the park for that one. I'm furious for the Bulls for allowing that comeback against the Warriors and giving Warriors 2 points. Says Morne Lagrange. They could be crucial near the end of the contest, of course, but now we are ready to go for this matchup, ladies and gents. Do let me know your score predictions once again in the comments, and also do let me know who you think will be the first try scorer. I went for a run, who won the previous match. In the end, the Bulls managed to win it by the 6 points in the end in favour of the Bulls. But this game kicked off, the Sharks going from left to right for this URC matchup. Nicely taken by Nicolo Canoni. In fact, I think they've had a late change. I do not see Isikor out on the field at the moment. Oh no, he is playing 6. They've actually got a little bit of a double up on the lineups that I've seen there. Well, nicely taken by Apelele Fassi, already almost managing to find a line break early on, but the turnover is good for Benetton, and they are now in possession again. And they will look to really work hard in these breakdowns, Benetton, because the Sharks are a physical side. That's a great kick in behind, looking for the 50-22, and they will get it there, Benetton. Fantastic start to the contest for the away side. I regret going for a run. The Pimpy to score the first try, says Morne Lagrange in there as well. But I believe this is a 50-22 already. Yes, it is, for Leonardo Martin. And yes, but it's what the Bulls do. They get ahead and then slow down, which is weird, isn't it, when you think about it, because they are the side who are from altitude. So you would think that they would be the side that start slow, then speed up type thing. But that is not normally the case. Running success, Grumpus, they're 5 metres out from the line now. Benetton, throwing Lucchese at the line. Now off to the right-hand side, little loop around play. Uren, nice quick hands. Might be trying to find Onisi Ratave out on the wing, but for now they're on the wing of Inacio Mendy. Sharks going to be important that they defend this well. Can't allow Benetton to get off to a quick start in this matchup. Still there for them. Back across again to Simeone Ferrari. Normally makes his way off the bench for the Italians whenever he plays international. Gets the start in this contest. Bulls played okay. Yeah, like they had their good moments throughout that game, which I'm sure they were happy about, but it's just the way that Glasgow almost got back into it that will be a little bit of a concern. Gerbrand Rubela makes the tackle there on Ezekiel. Back across to the right again. Where were you running from? Or who were you running from? Sharks in black is Ben in green. So yes, the Sharks are in black, and then Benetton are in their classic green and white. That's going to be the early penalty going against, I believe that's going to be Corneral who's been penalised for that one. I believe that Benetton will call for the early 3 points here. The Bulls probably thought the game was in the bag and decided to stop playing, says Morné Lagrange. But as they get close to the playoff games, they will learn that that is the last thing that you can afford to do. If you start taking your foot off the gas near the end of a game, there are sides that are strong enough to start firing quick fire tries. I mean, Dragons versus Stormers, perfect example of that. The game was close at half time. Dragons didn't really show up in the second half, and the Stormers just ran away with it when given the opportunity. So it's all about taking your chances, and I feel like this is once again going to be one of those games. Benetton wanting the early 3 points. Sharks have to make sure they answer back with a quick fire try. Nice easy kick for Leonardo Martin. To start off his day, everyone loves a nice easy one. Straight out in front of the post. He's been told that he hasn't got too many seconds remaining. Almost ran out of time and almost missed. But the kick has gone over, and Benetton now have the lead by 3 points. Krampus's love, Krampus's life. Bulls' problem is poor defence whole season. Tears outlaw. Which last time I saw that happen was 1998. ABs versus South Africa 25-6. 4 minutes left. We won 26-25. Says Steve Worley. And a little bit of a more recent reference as well. I believe the Crusaders up against the Waratahs it was in about 2014, I want to say, but I could be wrong. But I believe the Waratahs were leading 34-0 to go on to lose that game 35-34 or something along those lines. It can happen. It happens all the time in sevens. When we're covering those games, sides can be up 19-0, go on to lose 21-19 because they take their foot off the gas. Going to be kicked towards the touchline from Benetton. Nicely taken by Werner Hock, who was almost tackled by Bongi Ombanambi there. There's a little knock on the ground. And now it means that Benetton have got themselves the scrum. Well, says Steve. And also 31 for the Sharks, 17 for Benetton is Quintus's prediction there. But I will mention anyone who is new, be sure, of course, to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for these live streams. They happen in the middle of the night here in New Zealand, but we are not missing any of the action. Although not the next game, Lions versus Cardiff. Sadly, we won't be covering that one on the channel just because it is a little bit later. But tomorrow we are doing the Under-20s Rugby Championship. Surprisingly, South Africa sitting in last on that contest, but they've got a great chance of being able to overtake the opposition in that contest and have a really good chance of going ahead of Argentina if they do pull off a good performance. But Benetton now with the scrum feed. Ball is going to be put in by Andy Uren. No, doesn't get it in because both front rows have gone down. Do you think I should run on Monday? No, not on Monday. Mondays are tough, aren't they? Definitely after a long weekend of the stream, I always talk about it how we end up doing a big week and then we get to Monday and normally have to start work at about maybe 8 a.m. after getting 5 hours of sleep over the weekend. She can be pretty brutal, but we absolutely love doing it. Which is why we keep on doing it. Of course, next weekend, we're going to have more of the URC. We're going to have more of Super Rugby. And also, a couple of weeks' time, we're going to have some sevens action taking place as well. About to be fed in this time by Uren. They're going to give it another go. See if the scrum works out. That's a big push there from the Sharks. A little bit early, though. And Lions versus Cardiff, who do you think is going to win? I honestly do feel like Cardiff will put in a decent shift, but I do think the Lions will win that game. And like I mentioned, the Sharks need to win this game so that the Lions have a chance of making the top 8. Without the Sharks winning this game, it's probably going to be no chance for the Lions. Psychological, if you start your week on a Wednesday, Monday, isn't bad because the week is nearly over. Says Krampus. It's going to be kicked downfield by Rhino Smith. Now Apalele Fasi runs straight at his opposite number, bumps him towards the touchline. Now Gebran Grubela thought about the pass up to Vincent Tutsuka. Not a lot of position coming the way of the Sharks throughout the first 7 minutes of this contest. Kicked high again from Grant Williams. And it eventually comes down for Makazole Mapimpi, who swats it back onto his team side. Masuku now passes across to Apalele Fasi, who's going for the kick in behind, looking for the 50-22. It's rolling on, but it's well handled at the back for Andy Uren. And he puts it into touch. Which is important. At the end of the day, you're going to make sure that you're getting that ball out. Any opportunity that you get. Definitely when you're inside of your 22, you do not want to take that risk. I find Monday races easier than Fridays. I often try not to race at all. That's normally my best way of avoiding racing situations. Isn't Leinster playing against the Ospreys later on? They certainly are. So more than likely that will be a Leinster win. I don't want to get too confident for them, of course. They may go with a bit of a mixed team again, seeing as they have a Champions Cup final around the corner. Speaking of finals, of course, we're going to get to see the Sharks go head-to-head in the near future. They'll be going up against none other than Gloucester. Now, that is in, I believe, 3 weekends' time or 2 weekends' time. It's going to be a great one to watch, and we are actually going to be commentating that contest as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Grant Williams goes back across and behind to Masuku. Now Lukanyuam, he has numbers to his left-hand side. Vernacott goes to Apalele Fasi. He's got Makazole Mapimpi with him. But the pass was rough and the pass was too low. And it has dropped. I mean, Mapimpi, it was always going to be a tricky one to be able to hang on to. Apalele Fasi gives him a high five. But I feel like Fasi knows that that was his mistake, not finding the hands. But plenty of pace in the Sharks backline. Here we go. Just seeing the replay, just about maybe 20 or 30 centimetres further behind Makazole Mapimpi, or Mapimpi, than he would have liked. So it is now going to be the scrum or the line out for Benetton. They have the opportunity to choose what one they would like. I believe they are going for the scrum, and already Mike Adamson just asking for a bit of stability. And this one, it will probably be a second stringers for Leinster, says Morne Lagrange. In fact, while we're at it, we might as well have a quick look and see who Leinster have gone with in terms of their lineup. Now, that Lions game, of course, is going to be a home game for them, so that is a big bonus. Where are Leinster at? There we go, at the RDS up against the Ospreys. And their lineup, they've got Jimmy O'Brien, Jordan Lama, Ross Byrne, Robbie Henshaw, Caelan Doris. Okay, so a mixture, I would say. But still looking like a pretty decently strong side with a lot of power off the bench. And Van den Flair, Gibson Park, and Dan Sheehan also going to be there. There's no Afrikaans commentary on this game and the Lions game, says Ivan in there as well. I do find that surprising, seeing as these games are nice afternoon games for the fellas in South Africa. Currently, we're sitting 2:19 a.m. here in New Zealand, but we're still up covering the Sharks versus Benetton inside of their own 22 at the moment for Benetton. Rolling this one back is Uren again. And hi, Bud, says Rajen. Welcome in, mate. You are keeping well. Kicked high by Uren. Doesn't find touch with it, and nicely claimed by Makazole Mapimpi, who is then smashed in the tackle by the chasing forward Sebastian Negri. And Ivan, no, it's not spoken on the internet, says Gareth. Now nice pass out wide. Lukanyuam goes to James Fenter. It was passed behind him, but this time they have been able to claim it. The Sharks going short side. Lukanyuam with a sneaky run, but he's knocked the ball on again. And a big kick downfield from Rhino Smith. Well, thank you for hosting us. No worries at all. Now Makazole Mapimpi running it up. He's got Apalele Fassi with him, puts it on the outside. A much better pass than Fassi. Gave him Mapimpi earlier on. The ball bounces up and it's knocked on this time by Fassi. 5 meters from the line. The Sharks are this close at the moment. But just at the end, it's been that last touch that's been letting them down. Fassi's dropped the ball. Werner Cox dropped the ball. Makazole Mapimpi's dropped the ball. 3 men who can normally score tries for fun. It was a good kick in behind from Apalele Fassi. Put them under pressure and then just knocked on at the last moment by Apalele Fassi as he went to regather. As Benetton's defence were caught in no man's land. They seemed like if Fassi had even just managed to regather that at all, he would have been able to go over and score a try, which I'm sure doesn't make him feel any better about that one. There is Afrikaans commentary on the DSTV bouquet. Says Morning Lagrange. I'm still at work till 6:30. Says Roof. Gee, what? That sounds like a long day, doesn't it? 12.5 minutes in at the moment. The Sharks have had a majority of the attack. Benetton, though, have got the points on the board at the moment. Sitting 3 points to 0 up after the 13 minutes. So far, we're seeing 21 tackles made by the Sharks compared to the 5. Sharks just need to settle down, says Brian. Yeah, I think it's that focus of that last pass. They're creating line breaks and they're creating opportunities. It's just getting that one last pass that will get them over the try line. I could go for a mother's ruin right now. What is a mother's ruin? Gareth, that sounds like, I'd assume it's like a type of drink, maybe. Now rolling this one back again, Andy Uren with the opportunity to kick it downfield. And it does put it into touch. Won't be taken quickly by the Sharks. And Uren at the moment is not happy with someone out there on the field. I think it's his Ford pack and Mother's Ruin is gin. You know what? You learn something new every day. I did not know that. Which probably doesn't surprise some of you. And how many matches going to cover by next weekend? Says Morning Lagrange. I would say we're probably going to have about 6 or 7 again, somewhere around there. Overall, the difference probably is the fact that we haven't got the URC, the Under 20 Rugby Championship. It is finishing this weekend, actually finishing in about 16 hours' time. The Blitz box, not the Blitz box, but the Junior box, they're going to be playing up against Argentina. That is a 5:30 a.m. start for you guys in South Africa. Beautiful pass to Apalele Fassi. He goes himself and he scores the try for the Sharks. They had the set play. What is that? From Apalele Fassi. The try celebration of he's going like this. I'm not sure what this means. He's still doing it. Maybe antlers? Is it antlers? But he was keen to do it, Apalele Fassi, and he scored the try, so has a bit of a celebration there. We have got there, Lucanio Arm is overrated and makes too many mistakes, says Quintus, although when it comes to those important contests, Lucanio Arm has stepped up many times. Like, yes, every once in a while he's going to have a bit of a rough game, but you also, he'd still be thereabouts for me anyway, I would say. Jan Brand is streaming in Afrikaans on YouTube, whereas Guru, I know that Johan or Rugby Guru said that he was only going to do one game this weekend. So he decided, I believe, to do Bulls versus Glasgow, the game that we just covered. But, yeah, I think he was only doing one this weekend. Isn't that clapping in sign language? Is it? Oh, it could be. Maybe. I thought it was the Antlers, but that's just because I'm used to watching the Southland Stags playing here in New Zealand, and they normally have that kind of celebration. That one's gone over from Masuku. We shouldn't have expected anything different. The man was 8 from 8 last week. Will we be covering the Comrades Marathon on 9th of June? We will not, I don't believe. Imitating a bull's horn. That's what he's doing. There's Barry Turnbull. Yeah, great finish from Apalele Fassi. Yes, Guru only did the Bulls game. Says Richard there. I believe he did an Afrikaans too, if I'm correct. I was talking to him probably a couple weeks ago. We've got to get something going, me and him again. We've done things in the past. He was actually our first ever collaboration on YouTube, back when we had I think we were on 80 subscribers and he was on about 960 and we decided to do a video together. And since then we've probably done maybe about 4, but we need to do a few more, I'd say, in the future as well. But now nicely cleaned up by Masuku. Now Grant Williams back across to Bongi Manambi. Kicked him behind from Francois Fenta. Well claimed at the back by Benetton here in South Africa. We are having some good near winter weather and temperature around mid-20s during the day. And make that autumn /fall, says Stefan. And need to update the scoreboard, says Whiskey. Yeah, it's a little bit slow today, isn't it? There we go. It's just done it. Every time I hear the Sharks, I just think of Schmidt. I guess only in Afrikaans with some English. If someone asks a question, says Richard. Now Andy Uren, 40 metres out from the line, does put the ball up. Once again, some great height on it. Werner Koch unable to claim it. Are you called try scorer, Hamish? Says Arthur. Did I? Did I say Upper Lily Fussy at the start? I'll tell you what, you might be right. And I felt like a loss for the Bulls. Yeah, although at the end of the day, like 5 points is 5 points. And at this stage of the competition, to be able to secure any sort of points like that, yeah, you're pretty happy. Like even if you had a little bit of a tough patch out there on the field, still points, you know? Like 5, I'd take 5 points every day of the week. In this comp, as it currently sits, they are in second. Leinster have their game up against the Ospreys. And the Lions, they are sitting in 11th. When is the match between South Africa and Argentina under-20s going to start? So it is a 5:30 a.m. start for you guys in South Africa. New Zealand versus Australia in that competition is a 7:30 a.m. start. At the moment, I believe we're doing either 1 or 2 of those games. Hello there, says Safe. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Yes, Guru only did 1 game, the Bulls game, says Quintus. I'll stick to my 40-10 prediction for the Sharks, says Brian. And there, and so far we've seen the 1 try that was for Upper Lily Fussy. Benetton taking the early 3 points, and already we've got a bit of a stoppage here. Players regaining their bearings, getting some hydration. And Benetton doesn't sound Italian. Benetton, is that? That's probably still not much better. I don't have an Italian accent on me, unfortunately, so and that probably just offended any Italian viewers that we have. Benettonio. I think that it's actually like Benetton Treviso or something like that. Something like that. So that might be that where the Italian side of things comes in a little bit more. But on the halfway line at the moment, Benetton are in position. Top 4 remaining unchanged. And the Bulls have playoff with the Stormers. Be a big game, wouldn't it? Those two sides actually met in the inaugural URC final. In that game, it was the Stormers who got themselves the win. It's actually been a bit 50-50 this year when those two sides have gone head-to-head. And Treviso, Northern Italy, says Sebastian. Now nicely taken by Werner Koch under the high ball. They are 30 metres from their line here, the Sharks. Vincent Dechuka, short ball to James Fenta. Already probably had about 20 or so running metres throughout this game. You're insane, Hamish, says Steve. It's probably a fair assessment because I probably shouldn't do as many streams as we do, but we do them, you know, throughout the whole World Cup. Even though there was not a great starting time for us here in New Zealand, we still covered all of the games of their World Cup competition. Last weekend we did about 25 hours of streaming with a cold, so we were struggling big time, but we're still here. Still going strong, 19 minutes into this contest. The Sharks have got the 4-point lead, and we've got ourselves another knock-on. Quite a few throughout the early stages of this match. Looks like just some bootlaces being done up for Onisi Ratave. He has not touched the ball enough, and anyone who knows that man, he's a dangerous ball runner for the Fijians. At 5 a.m, it's way too early for me. I'm still sleeping at that time. So there is an Italian guy doing the Sharks Benetton match. He gets far too excited if Benetton touches the ball, says Richard. So you probably, well, is he speaking in Italian, Richard? Because if he is, you definitely know who he's going for in the matchup. Oh, looks like Vincent Koch. He's about to make his way from the field. This is a bit of a concern. Not just the blood coming out of the ear of Vincent Koch, but the limp that he's got. His right leg Looks like he's got some sort of injury here. You hope that it's nothing too serious. Vincent Koch, of course, handy player for the Sharks. Might be knee, might be calf. And they're also talking about the fact that even Itzebeth at the moment is getting a bit of medical attention as well here. And let's go surfing in New Zealand, rather. Says Johan Lavaskachny. Yes, he's doing it in Italian, says Richard. And I mean, if the Italian rugby team is anything to go off, you know he's going to be full of passion. Oh. Tell you what, I didn't know this man could get concussed. Even Itzebeth is going off for an HIA. Now, for that man to have got a concussion, he would have had to be hit by a truck, and I didn't see a truck on the field. So, I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe he's knocked himself out for Evan Itzebeth, but Lavaskachny now onto the field now. I wonder what that shot was that put Itzebeth down. Because, like I said, that man doesn't normally drop. And give the Italians a slice of pizza and all good, says Quintus. Is going to Ulster, says 123 MS. Yeah, I think Werner Koch is heading that way. For him to have a concussion, I would have to have a brain... Oh, that's brutal. Sebastian. And Dan Batter's always excited. He will answer English questions, though. Says Eric. The ball's going to be fed into the scrum by Grant Williams. We're already a quarter of the way through this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Big push from the Sharks, and they will win themselves a penalty. Williams considered the quick tap, decides against it in the end. Are you going to wear a suit for the Champions or Challenge and Investec Champions Cup finals? Do you think we should? I haven't worn the suit in a long time. I don't think I've worn the suit since the Rugby World Cup final. I think that was the last game that we actually covered with the suit on. It might not be the suit. I might just go like dress shirt and tie, maybe. I think we'll bring the suit back for the Rugby Championship, though, which is not too far away. Evening, Hamish. Thanks for the commentary. Go the Sharks, says Joss Pike. At the moment, 86% possession in favour of the Shark side, but they have only been able to get themselves the one try on the board. They're coming for Apalele Fassi. And so it is only for the Rugby World Cup. Says Arthur around the side of the breakdown. Werner Koch with the pick and go. Now Oxnische passes off to Lavaskachny. And Moose, says Steve Worley. Oh, a little bit of a juggle there for James Fenter, but they're 25 metres out. Definitely the Rugby Championship. All Blacks versus Springboks, says Sebastian. Masuku looking for an attacking run, and tell you what, not only is he great with the kick and tee, but if he can start making some real running meters and setting up plays for the Sharks all throughout the rest of the season, he could be Bok material by the end of July. Apalele any kind of suit will be fine, Hamish. Hamish Fab, keep me going. Says Roof Corneral. 5 metres from the line now for the Sharks. Grant Williams looks to the short side. Snipey run inside. Paul Fussy says, I want over, but he's not going to get over. 1 metre from the line. Sharks here. Who's it going to be? Where's Vincent Tachuka when you need him? Oh, hang on. There's an injured player. It looks like maybe an HIA here for, I believe it is Nicolo Canoni, or it might be Lorenzo. Okay. Apalele Fussy there, I think might have actually just had a chat to the referee and he said, I don't think I scored that. Quite good communication, saving them going upstairs, checking the TMO. If you wear a suit for Cup Championships, then a tux for the Rugby World Cup. Says Arthur, and Hamish will be wearing a bright white England kit soon. And who flattered Itzebeth, the Undertaker? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Evan Itzebeth doesn't normally stay down, and I feel like at halftime we'll go back and we'll actually try and find what it was that knocked Evan Itzebeth a little bit unconscious. I don't think he was fully unconscious, but he certainly got his bell rung a little bit by something in a breakdown. Where can I stream this match for free? Unfortunately, there aren't too many options for free around the world for these games. I know that URC TV is a paid subscription. In South Africa, it's on DSTV, but that is also paid subscription. If you're in New Zealand, Kwanda, or you have a VPN, if you set yourself for New Zealand, TVNZ Plus, you'll be able to actually watch these games for free. But the problem is you've probably had to pay for a VPN to be able to watch it. May the ball carrier truck hit Itzebeth, says Quintus. And gloomy day here in Durban. Says cool story, bro. And Western Bourse have beaten the draw 48 points to 10. It sounds like it's going to be a 5 metre scrum now for the Sharks. Now that is actually quite beneficial for them I mentioned about earlier on, where was Vincent Tuchuka? I think we're about to find out. Just asking for the scrum to stay off the floor from Mike Adamson. Hamish will be handsome in a tuxedo. Says Amone Lagrange. I'd need a haircut first. I feel like this haircut at the moment, I'll be honest, it's just a temporary one. It's the can't be bothered getting a haircut kind of look. Do you still have a VPN sponsorship, mate? I have an affiliate link for a VPN. I've never actually been paid like any money because I haven't reached the threshold for it though, if that makes sense. Like you have to reach a certain number of sign-ups before you get $1 or anything. And Sharks is a second half performance team, says Quintus. Currently possession back to about 50-50 at the moment. Grant Williams about to feed the ball in. And it's not really moving at scrum time. Solid from Benetton. Although now it looks like Vincent Tuchuka, he's going to run it hard at the line. He's driven backwards by Benetton. That is some fantastic defence. But now a chance for Gurban Rubela. And everyone loves Krampus. Try TVNZ Plus Hamish, but saying something about display that I'm out of New Zealand when I'm not over it. Wait, so it kicks you out even though you're from New Zealand, Mr. Orlin? That's a bit brutal, isn't it? Like on a PC or on your phone, or what was it, Mr. Orlin? Because they do also have an app if you're on a phone or something like that. And another easy game where the Sharks don't start the ante. Says Luke now going to the short side. Graham Williams inside ball to Apelele Fassi. That looked like a rinse and repeat of a play that we just recently saw. Oxney share off to Bongi or Manambi. They're up to 8 phases at the moment for the Sharks. Grant Williams calling for reinforcements. Here comes Lavaskachny. A good low tackle made by Benetton. James Sventer. Oh, he's 1 metre out. Get him very close. Here comes the Ox. He's over. They're not going to stop him from there. And it's another try now for the Sharks. And the big man, Oxney, the man who gets over the try line. Naked Hamish would reflect too much sunlight and cause an ice age. To be fair, I'm very pale, so you're probably not completely wrong. I think the only time that I get any sort of sunshine is during the cricket season. I need to get a bit more outside of the cricket season though, I'd say. We'll work on that at some point, but for now, so much rugby on. We've been sleeping during the day, editing and streaming during the nights. Go the Sharks, says Regine. And try my PC and TV. Just won't work and don't want to wake the missus from a beauty sleep to fix it or a black eye. Plus Mother's Day, says Mr. All-In. Well, hopefully it ends up working for you eventually. You tried it on PC and TV, and neither worked. Happy birthday, Hamish. What are you going to do later? Oh, Masuku missed. I didn't know that man knew how to miss. And nobody will stop the Ox short of the line. Yeah, definitely not a metre out. I didn't realise it was my birthday, cool story, bro. I know that my birthday's in December, but I guess if I get another birthday today, I'm going to go to KFC, I'd say. Have a right celebration. Can you have a second birthday? If you can, I feel like this would be a great day to do it. Going to be kicked off now by Benetton. Oh, here comes Vincent Tuchuka. 25 metres out. Yeah, I'm just not for this technology stuff. And great KFC. Says, cool story, Ray. Happy birthday. It's not my birthday. It's going to be kicked high. And nicely taken under the high ball for Reno Smith. We're already 26 minutes. The Queen has 2. That is actually true. Well, she had 2 birthdays. Of course. R.I.P. Back across the left-hand side. The Queen had 2 birthdays. 1 each for human and lizard forms. I'm not French, says Krampus. It's going to be a great turnover from Gurban Rubela. And he's taken it back now. Opportunity. I think there might have been a knock-on from Ezekiel. Going across to Apelele Fassi. He's had some insane meters made throughout this game already. Here comes Grant Williams. Looking for that next pass. Masuku passes out wide for Vernakok. He will look for the corner. He's been dragged down. Gets back up to his feet. And they're 15 metres from the line now, the Sharks. Can they strike for a third time in this match. Corneral gets within 10, but onto the ball for Benetton. The penalties won by Onisi Ratave. If there's one thing that Fijian wingers know how to do, it is to win one-on-one turnover penalties. I thought for a second he might have even considered a quick tap as an option there on Onisi Ratave, even though they're inside of their own 22. Trying to keep that ball alive. It was a great initial steal from Gurran Hrubala. He's taken on the new role of 7 in this contest. Of course, he has played there before, but seen him a lot more likely in that locking duo. Although maybe him and Lavaskakni have actually switched. Not too many people are at the stadium. Can't hear much live here, and TVNZ blocks you if you use a VPN. Does it? See, I always thought if you had the settings right, it could actually let you go on to it. Because I know that Sky here in New Zealand are pretty strict with not using the VPN. Now, 28 minutes in. We've only had 3 penalties. Need the Sharks to score again before halftime to give my prediction a chance. Says Brian, line out throw for Luke Casey. Is it true that Sia isn't allowed to captain the box this year because he's playing overseas? Could it be Lucanio Arm take over as captain, says John? So, it's slightly true in some regards, right? So, he is allowed to, but Rassi Erasmus does not want him to, because he wants a player playing in South Africa as the captain. So that doesn't mean that Sia Khaleesi won't be captain this year. Maybe it was all just a rumour, or just a little bit of media. But yeah, his comment was he wants a South African captain who's playing in South Africa. So that opens up the door for Etzebeth, Lukanyoam. I'm not sure who else would fall into that category at the moment in terms of the best choices for captain. And not enough people will care about our king. And also we've got their most decent broadcasters pick up VPN. I will instruct you to switch off the VPN link. Says Arthur, now Benetton. They've won themselves another penalty 40 metres out. And happy second birthday, says Quintus. And there as well. Cheers. I'll make sure to absolutely celebrate it to the fullest. Although I should mention we've got the games of the Rugby Championship that we are hoping to cover later on today. The first one starting at 5:30 a.m. for you guys in South Africa. The second game going to be a little bit later than that, which of course is a massive bonus, as it is going to be a 7:30 a.m. start. That is between New Zealand and Australia, and that game could determine who wins the Rugby Championship. Did I miss something? Whose birthday queen? She's dead long ago, like Freddie Mercury. Oh, happy unbirthday, says Cool Story Bro. But Benetton, once again, kicking that one towards the corner. They've gone away from taking on 3-pointers here. They know that they need a couple tries if they want a chance of being able to take down the Sharks. So far, the Sharks have made 34 tackles. They've only missed 1, whereas Benetton have made 1 extra tackle, but they've missed an extra 7. Now, nice attack and run here for Manoncello. Man, he's got some acceleration. Tries to reach out for the line and isn't able to do so. Ball still there for Benetton. Over it. Just watch this English comp moving fast but going nowhere. Simmons to all in. Now around this side. Gets closer again for Ezekor. Now Uren going in behind. Cross kick attempted. And it's going to be taken and run dead by Upper Lilifasi. That will become the goal line dropout. It says to disable VPN and register with the New Zealand address using ExpressVPN. See, I remember maybe they've changed that recently. Like, not as in like the last week or two, but I know that a couple months ago we recommended it to some people and it was working. So maybe they've got a little bit more strategic with it and they've realized that. Oh, were they on NordVPN rather than ExpressVPN? They might have different settings on those, possibly. But I'm not sure what those different settings are because I don't really know technology that well. Did you know it's your unbirthday 365 days of the year? Hamish, it's 32. I feel 32. I've probably got the posture of a 32-year-old as well. My back is broken. Not literally. Only 45 metres out at the moment, asking for the penalty. Uren doesn't receive it from Mike Adamson. Now another kick up high from Marine. Chance under the high ball. Makazoli Mapimpi does beautifully to be able to claim that one and now going to the short side. Once again, we're going to see more running meters for Apalele Fassi. Happy birthday, Hamish. Says Johan Lavaskachny, and rather the king of commentary. And that as well from Johan. Oh, how old are you today? No, it's not my birthday. Someone said happy birthday earlier on. In December, I will be 25, which is a bit scary, but yeah, I don't actually know what the plan is for my birthday. It's probably going to actually be on the weekend of the 7th, so we'll probably be covering that. Happy birthday. No, not my birthday. You've started something now, cool story, bro. You said it was my birthday, now everyone is saying happy birthday. But I do appreciate it, Bradley. We're just about 7 months early. Can I send you a new VPN for your birthday? Says Peter Porter. And also, if you use a VPN, remember to turn your location off, says Richard. And there as well. Now rolling the ball back. Grant Williams about to fire this one up. You are a spring chicken, says Regine there on the halfway line, knocked on by Vin the Cock. And there's going to be another scrum feed now for Benetton. This game is still well and truly there for the taking for both of these sides. It's all going to be about how they answer back in the second half. The Sharks have looked strong. They've got themselves 2 tries, but they definitely want the bonus point in this contest. Not so much in terms of being able to get themselves back into the quarterfinals, but more so like just helping out the other South African side and the Lions. In fact, I'll ask the question, what's the Sharks' biggest South African rival? Is it the Bulls? I feel like that's the one that I've probably heard the most about in terms of the back and forth between the sides. Like, do the Sharks and the Lions kind of get along at all? Maybe. There's only one team tonight, the Sharks, says Regine. One moment, we are about to sneeze, so I'll quickly mute myself. There we are good. Hamish, I'll stick you for Italian pizza for your birthday, says Quintus. The Sharks' worst enemy is the Sharks themselves, says Arthur. Let's send Hamish birthday gifts. And happy birthday, bruv, says Sebastian. And the cool story, bro, Hamish is like 24-hour all-day deodorant, keeps you fresh. And we have some good sides here, says Bradley there as well. Yeah, I feel like recently Sharks-Lions games have been pretty competitive. But, you know, if there's the opportunity to get another South African side inside of the top 8, I feel like the Sharks would like to extend a hand and give them a hand. You are on the money. Bulls is the Sharks to beat side, says Regine. I feel like the Stormers are also the Bulls, though, aren't they? So everyone's just against the Bulls. Now, nice run forward from Kanoni. Sitting 45 metres out, Uren. Going back across now to Kanoni. And the Sharks are the Highlanders of South Africa and punch the misses in the face first. Mr. Hall, and that doesn't sound like good advice. Nice run down the wing from Inacio Mendy. Still 6 minutes remaining. Big shot coming in from Oxney. I should mention, Ebenetzebeth is yet to return to the field. Same with Vincent Koch, who went off with that leg injury a little bit earlier on in the contest. Now around the side, Uren again. And the ball away. Flicked out the back door, knocked on by Uren. They'll go back for another penalty. Oh no, Medic. They're going to start with a scrum to Benetton. This looks ugly. Federico Zanni. I think that he's broken his leg, or at least his ankle or something down low. They're going to start with a scrum in favour of Benetton, but I thought Benetton were the team that actually knocked it on. We're going to see a replay here somewhere. Oh, yeah, his ankle went the wrong way. That's not supposed to bend like that. And it pretty much just went... It didn't make that noise. Or if it did, then... imagine that. Imagine tackling a player and hearing the crunch of a bone breaking. That sounds a bit disturbing, doesn't it? Morning, Average Brother says, Birdie V, welcome in. And Ouch says Arthur. And also, we have there, Sharks hate the Stormers. Says, cool story, bro. Now 5 minutes left. Just giving him a bit of medical attention at the moment. I don't think Zani's going to be able to continue in this match. And it does look like they might even get a stretcher out there on the field. Would anyone watch Super 16 with 3 South African cheaters, Pumas and Griquas, and the Pumas from Argentina? I would. To be fair, ugly injury there, says Sebastian. And yeah, they are bringing out the stretch yellow. Sharks to win, says Marian Foster. Welcome in. Sharks will win, says Julian Moses. And the Stormers are the Sharks' biggest rival in South Africa, says Quintus. Back up on his feet, Zani. Though that does not mean that he has got a broken ankle. At the moment, he looks like he can put no weight on that absolutely just crunch. The Bulls are everyone's rivals because nobody likes them, says Pierre. Super 16 sounds like a good idea, or great idea, says Cool Story Bro. And then it would at least make sense, because at the moment for Super Rugby, we're seeing the table the way that it is at the moment, right? Crusaders have won 2 games this season, and they have still got a chance of making the quarterfinals. The Force, they won their most recent game. They were bottom of the table. Now they've got a chance of making it to the quarterfinals. So it's just it's a weird competition with the fact that they seem like it's going to be pretty much letting everyone get the chance. Aminu has made his way onto the field. He is the replacement. So, like, this is the way that the table was sitting at the start of today. There have been a few changes, but like the Force, they are now sitting, I believe, in 9th because they got a win. So they have now got a chance of making it into the top 8, even though they only have 3 wins for the season. Whereas at least for the URC, just looking at the top 16 here, or the whole competition, 9 wins, 8 wins, those sides at least 7 wins, they're in the running. Whereas there's a clear, distinctive cut at this point, isn't there? There's only the 3 wins, 4 wins, etc. But these sides are all in a good position to be able to have a better win-to-loss ratio and make their way through to the next stage. 35 minutes through. At the moment, I had many tears thanks to the Stormers beating the Sharks. If you've been saying me during the Rugby World Cup, I was in Cambodia watching on my phone in a hotel bar at 2 a.m. But as a South African supporter, the VPN was a godsend, says BC. Yeah, they can be very handy. And definitely if you can find like free options of being able to watch the games as well. Even if you've got like a paid subscription to something and you've got that VPN locked in, beautiful flat run from Manoncello. They're not going to catch him. Werner Cox's going to try, but he gets the try there for Benetton. Oh, gave him a bit of a stare down afterwards as well for Manoncello. In fact, was that Juan Ignacio Brix? It was one of the two. No, it was Tommaso Manoncello. But yes, I like the Bulls, says Steve. Are you a marathon man today? Still running, says Ruth. Hello from Ireland. Yeah, how you doing, lads? Says Bedrag. Welcome in, mate. That's up there with Buck Shelford's Rip Plum, says VKM. And also, we have got there as well, yes, with those South African teams, I would actually care to know what's happening there, says Gold Story Brother. Manoncello, good finish. Werner Cox, he had to go a little bit high in the end to try and finish it, or stop him from being able to score. So I would have been curious to know what would have happened had he stopped him from scoring. Probably would have been a penalty try. Now, Marine from 40 or so metres out. We are currently almost 40 minutes into this contest, and Benetton keeping it close with the Sharks, who have had, like I mentioned, more possession, more territory. But now it's a bit closer after that try of Manoncello. Bulls win. They did indeed. It was pretty close. Oh, 15 seconds. Just missed it away to the side. Actually tried the drop kick there, the Benetton kicker. That's been happening more and more often lately. Balls falling off the kicking tee. So then we don't normally see that as the option, but he decided he'd go for a drop kick like they do in the Sevens. The stadium looks empty. It's not that full for this game, but then saying that, it is 2 sides that at this stage may be outside of the top 8. The Sharks, I'm sure that they will have a big crowd. And they're going to deal with the South African sides just a little bit later on in the URC competition. We are not too far away from the quarterfinals, and also not too far away from the Challenge Cup final for the Sharks up against Gloucester. We are covering that game on the channel as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's going to be a kicked high there from Uren. Now nicely taken by Apalele Fassi. Masuku knocked on by Makazole Mapimpi. Going across there on the outside. Manoncello finds the hands of Inacio Mendy. And Benetton have a chance to lead at half time if they get a quick score here. My prediction is wrong. with that misconversion, says Brian. Now going to the short side. Benetton making some good meters, but I can tell you right now, there is a clear difference in the way that the Sharks have been playing since Evan Etzebeth made his way from the field. It seems like they haven't been anywhere near as physical. It also seems like they haven't really had that leader out there on the field in that 4-pack to try and keep them composed. Nice back line. Ooh, almost a tip tackle there from Apollos. Made his way onto the field as well. I'm not actually sure who he is on the field for. Looking around, trying to work out who it is. Found a DB in the van. There's Grumpus. Now pass back across. Big attack and run from the even bigger man there. Ezekiel Uren. Short ball. Seems like it's a little bit stagnant at the moment. Sneyman with the carry. Uren again going to the right hand side. Close to a forward pass. I hope Eben is okay. But yeah, he hasn't made his way back out onto the field. So I would assume that that is concussion possibly for Eben Etzebeth. And like I said, I didn't even know that that man could get knocked out. And Hamish, what a game ball says Glasgow. My word, the last 10 minutes almost gave me a heart attack. I had a full house to watch the game and enjoy a braai. That was like a good weekend by the sounds of it. Now Uren, they're up to 14 phases. Now it's gone through the hands. Turnover for the Sharks. Kicked him high from Masuku. And I think he's just got a bit too much on this one. It will roll dead. I think they will go right back to the scrum. And this time I believe it will be the scrum feed for Benetton. And leave the VPN and subscribe to Hamish's channel, says Quintus. And as well, yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got Check You Later. Don't forget to click like and have a special day. You only turn 32 once. Says cool story, bro. And great win for the Bulls, Munster and Leinster to play game in hand. But yeah, that's the thing. Like Leinster have the Ospreys, Munster. I will just quickly check who they've got. I think they've got Connaught in their game. And hello, Hamish and Chat says bystander. Hope you are doing very well. He is needed for the Challenge Cup, says 123 MS for Eben Etzebeth. And I believe with the stand down protocol of a concussion, he would still be back ready for those games. Interesting to see if Evan Roos makes the Bok team. This is going to be maybe an unpopular opinion, but I don't think he will. I think he's too much of a hazard out there on the field. Like, don't get me wrong, phenomenal player. Runs the ball hard, does some pretty decent work in the breakdown, and has a really good support run. But the problem that you've got with him is it only takes someone to slightly annoy him, and he's pretty much a guaranteed yellow card. That looked like a forward pass from Benetton. They've got 3 phases now as discipline issues, says bystander. I was surprised that Diamani never got half a chance, so I think he's going overseas now. Hikshivar Diamani. Now back across again and behind. They've now had enough phases that they cannot go back to check whether or not that was a forward pass. Kanoni, 22 metres from the line now, around the breakdown. Here comes Luke Casey. Henry Honeybuck gave me his work shorts after a Crusaders game way back in 97 odd. Says Dame Set Match. Geez, that's before I was even born. Back in 97, that ball's loose. I think it was accidental offside, double knock on. And we're going to halftime, ladies and gentlemen. 12 points to 8. A close game between these two sides and a little bit of push and shove to end the half just to show that there's a bit of meaning in it. A honeyball, says Dame Set Match. And also, we meet again from the Rugby World Cup days. Love the banter, you good old. And tight, says Mr. Allin. Yeah, very close game between these two sides. Currently 12 points to 8. We're seeing just the 2 tries for the Sharks, one of which coming for Apalili Fassi, and the other coming for none other than the Ox Nishe, getting over that try line. In terms of what Benetton have been able to do, they have also got themselves the try. That was from Tommaso Manoncello at outside centre. But I think looking through at some of the stats for this game, they will actually be relatively even. And they probably evened out a little bit more as the half wore on, seeing as we did see a little bit more work and the ball in hand for Benetton later on. But looking at these stats, so it's actually all Apollos is on the field for Lukanyoam, ladies and gentlemen. So far in this game, they have lost Vincent Koch, Ebenetzebev, and Lukanyoam. Now, if those three players are unavailable for their game up against Gloucester, it's going to be a lot more challenging of a contest. But 59% possession in favour of Benetton at the moment. Clean breaks, 6 for the Sharks compared to the 5 of Benetton. We've seen 10 defenders beaten by the Sharks, 9 by Benetton, and the offload stat is impressive. 7 from the Sharks compared to the 0 offloads that we have seen from Benetton throughout this contest. Territory is 63% for Benetton, so as that half actually wore on, more and more of those stats were looking in their favour. Tackle success rate is at 85% for the Sharks compared to 82% of Benetton. And then the penalty count, 1 against Benetton, 3 against the Sharks. And Apelele Fasi has had the most successful carries. He's had the most clean breaks. He's had the most defenders beaten. He's had the most meters. And he's also had the most offloads in this game. And he's tied for the most points and tries. So across the board, Apelele Fasi, definitely a player you want to keep out on the field. Nicolo Canoni, he has had 8 tackles made. That is the most. Even Smith is in the changing room making Italian pizzas for halftime snack for the Sharks. Says Quintus, do you know what time it is? It's Fanta time for you to crack open a Fanta. I haven't actually had a Fanta in, I don't even know how long. It feels like a few months, to be honest. But maybe later today. Who's your choice for the box 8, bro, to bystander? And 4-point game, Sharks for the win here. Says a Blues Nate. We saw James Fenter get himself actually 8 tackles. It's just updated a little bit more. I wonder if any of the other stats have updated as well. No, they all look pretty similar. Not a great fan, or not a great Evan Ruiz fan. Like, don't get me wrong, the guy can play rugby and he's handy enough, but I just really don't like the ill discipline that he brings to his side. Definitely because a lot of the times when he gives away silly penalties is when his side are under huge pressure and it's an important moment in the game and he goes out there and, high tackles someone or flops in the breakdown to shut it down. I just feel like there are more disciplined options that the Box could go with at their number 8 jersey. And 8 for the next World Cup. Heard scrum rules have changed, says bystander. That is true. No longer allowed to take a free kick off a scrum. No longer allowed to take a scrum off a free kick. And this could be difficult for the Sharks. The URC isn't as important to them now. Hope the injuries will be sorted before playing Gloucester. Evan Ruiz is definitely his own worst enemy. And they've talked about it before in the past in terms of, not so much a sports psychiatrist, but more so just talking to an older player or something and trying to give him some wisdom, give him some sort of advice of how to control his aggression when he's out on the field, because there's no denying he's got aggression when he's on the field. And he's hard to control. That's what makes him such a dangerous player. But he's dangerous in more ways than one, because he also gives away penalties and yellow cards at the wrong time in a contest. And champs are champs. Thank you, Hamish. And please say hi to my son, Reed. He is a big fan, so shout out to you, Reed. Should be afternoon time, I believe, for yourself, rather than 3:30 or 3:04 a.m. like we are sitting here in New Zealand. But anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You all being here for this game. Norm Maxwell will tell him, punch the prop during the scrum, release the aggression, young man. Says Sebastian, yeah, if he was 20 years back for Evan Ruiz in terms of the generation and the time that he was playing rugby, he'd fit in perfectly. And yes, I heard that. This United Rugby Championship, who would be your choice for box number 8? Says John. It's a good question. I'm still of belief that, Jasper Wiese is probably still as good of an option as any. The man didn't really do too much wrong when he played number 8. He's a decent option for when Vermeulen isn't there, seeing as now he is kind of outside of that selection category or outside of the kind of selection talks. So Yeah, I'd probably still go Vesa, to be honest. And also, some of my predictions looking good. 21-20 for the Sharks. There's 123 MS. Hamish only drinks water. He's a fish. In Australia Day drinks water. Says Crumpus in there. And like guys, only 45 up till now, says Brian. So yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also be sure to leave a like on this live stream. Now, sadly, we aren't doing that game taking place between the Lions and Cardiff. That is taking place later on in about an hour or so's time. Sadly, we won't be able to cover that game as we do have to be up in 5 hours for another big day of filming and whatnot. And also, alongside that, I should mention, ladies and gents, we are doing the Under-20 Rugby Championship, either one or two of the games between Mostert, Quagga, and Vesa. We are sorted at 8, says Albert. Like, that's the benefit that the Springboks have. They've still got great players. You might have a Fanta later on, says Sebastian, and there as well. But yeah, we've got plenty more action coming up on the channel, ladies and gents. Be sure to keep an eye out. But saying that, it's 5:30 a.m. start for you guys in South Africa for that Rugby Championship game. So we aren't actually sure if we're doing that one. Instead, we might end up doing Australia versus New Zealand, just so that we don't have so many fellows waking up right at the crack of dawn, just in case it is once again a rainy day for that Rugby Championship, because it has been quite often and it's been heavily affecting the way that games are going. They are just showing the highlights of the first half once again. He's feeling fantastic, of course. Nice one. Why didn't they ever use that as their slogan, Sebastian? You should try and sell it to them. See whether or not it works out. Second half is just around the corner, ladies and gents. I feel like this one, there's the potential for the Sharks to get a really good lead here. But what they would need to do, of course, is start this half well. Aitzabes has a concussion, he will be okay. Final Lukanyuam has a leg twitch, says Mornay. And prepare for a tri-festival in the second half from the Sharks, says Quintus. Yeah, like if they can get themselves some really quick-fire, solid-looking tries. Like, they're only 2 away from that bonus point as well, which I know doesn't change too much for them in terms of the overall URC standings. But it also, it's just a confidence booster, and that's the kind of thing that you want if you are the Sharks as you head towards the furthest the South African side has ever made it in the Challenge Cup. They're through to the final. They are taking on Gloucester. And now, got a great opportunity to win it all for a South African side. Second half, I would say we are extremely close to the second half getting underway, ladies and gentlemen. They're normally a little bit slower, getting them back out onto the field, but overall a pretty quick, free-flowing half of rugby. Hopefully it is going to be the same for the second half as well. And I should mention, we actually saw an extremely quick half of rugby that took place in Super Rugby today. We saw a 42-minute half from whistle to whistle, which is unheard of in a game of rugby union. I don't think that was due to any new laws that World Rugby are trying to bring in to try and speed up the game. But, it's still pretty quick when the rugby is free-flowing. And where does Benetton sit on the table, Hamish? That is a fantastic question, Mr. Allin, and we will show you exactly where they are. They are in 9th at the moment. Now, I should mention Glasgow are now on 60 points, and also alongside that, we have seen the improvement from the Bulls. They are now sitting in 2nd place currently with 56 points on the board. But Benetton, if they get themselves a win here, they will actually shoot right up to, I believe it would be 7th. If they win with a bonus point, they will actually move up to 6th. So there's a lot on the line for them. The Sharks are in 13th. They can move up to 12th, but there would still be a clear night and day between them and the Lions. But the biggest thing here for the Sharks is if they win this game, they drastically increase the Lions' chances of making their way through to the next stage of the competition. Now, the only thing that might hurt that is if Cardiff managed to pull off a win up against the Lions. I don't see that happening, but sometimes you just never know. That's the unpredictability side of things in a game of rugby. It looks like it's starting to get a little bit stormy here in South Africa by the looks of it with those clouds. Hamish, make the effort. Or make the effort with Egg Chasers, Wildcard, and Jim Hamilton. You'll be a hit, mate. Says bystanders. Or bystander, I should say. We probably should try and do a few more collaborations in the future. Like, we've done a few recently with Tony, as well as Rugby Itch, but, you know, we haven't done one with Johan for a little while. Rugby Guru, as some of you guys will know him. Also, alongside that, I mean, we haven't done anything with 2 cents for a while, but that is still on the cards as a possibility. And don't think the Sharks are interested in aiding the Lions, to be honest. Yeah, probably not, but it would help them out in the long run. And injury not serious if it's only a twitch. Well, that's one thing, but at the same time, like, you know, a twitch in a leg can normally be something spinal or something, you know, more serious if it continues. Sharks should play well next season. Hopefully the academy produces some good players. They can buy all the players, but most are already kind of old, says 123MS. And if you're born in or after 97, do you know what a 50-cent mixture is? I do not, but I know what a dollar mixture is. So I wasn't quite the stage of 50 cent. For me, the lowest that you could go was $1, or that was the more popular one. And then a $2 mixture, you used to be eating good with those lollies. You used to get them for the 5 cents, the 10 cents, chucking them in. Mini pizzas that were made out of gummy worms and whatnot. The good old days. Now you can probably get like a $4 mixture or something from a dairy. It's going to be kicked downfield straight away. Cameron Wright is actually already out on the park. And that is going to be for Grant Williams. And Grant Williams has been quiet. Well, now he's off the field. So I guess they've decided that he's been too quiet and that they do want to make that change early on here. The Sharks, also Machunu, has made his way onto the field. I feel like the plan for this game possibly was to start a lot of those guys that will be playing in that challenge final up against Gloucester. But I think what has happened here is a few of those guys have picked up injuries and now they've decided they better make some more changes to make sure that those other players that are important don't also end up injured. So the likes of Machunu, he is out there on the field at the moment. We see Cameron Wright, like I mentioned, that is for Grant Williams. Umbanambi's off the field, that is for Fezambata. And a collaboration with Rugby Ascendant, he seems like a good bloke. Would be a cool idea. He does quite a bit of the 7 side of things as well, I believe, if I'm correct there. Or he used to anyway. I think he gave that up in the end. Ball's going to be available to roll back now for Cameron Wright. That one is going to be kicked up high. Makazoli Mapimpi. Not going to be able to go through and take that one. Instead it is Uren. Now across to Sebastian Nehri. Playing 6 for this contest. Lucchese, a lot of international Italian players on this field. Already 42 minutes into this contest. We have good there, Hamish. Did you hear about New Zealand? Might have another 4 or 5 league teams. I don't think it's a good idea, to be honest, for New Zealand. Like maybe one more league team might not be a terrible call, but having any more than that, I feel like would just be a bit of a waste for New Zealand, just because the talent will be split throughout too many different sides. What's the New Zealand Rugby show called with Kerwin? So that is the breakdown. The one you're talking of, beautifully taken from Apalele Fassi. Now back across to the left-hand side, Machunu. Sitting 45 metres out. And the penalty goes the way of Benetton again here. It's not going to be ideal at the moment for the Sharks if they keep on giving away the penalties for not releasing. I think Gubra Rubala, he is frustrated there. So is Machunu, who's the man who's been penalised. 2 cents gets distracted, plus the rugby recap. Hamish and Tim, Awesome Foursomes podcast. Says Blues Nate. I mean, we have had talks before about me possibly travelling to Auckland at some point to be live in the studio for 2 cents gets distracted, possibly going up for a bit of golf. Mapimpi is too quiet, says 123MS. Yeah, hasn't really gone his way throughout. I'd say the first 20 minutes he looked really good. And quit the crumbs, Kiwi lads. Need to take the loaf, let's get it, says bystander. Now I for some reason, I literally took that as a loaf of bread. The Sharks, says Rhodes, cross kick. It's going to be kicked dead by Apalele Fassi. They did already have the advantage against them, so Benetton get themselves another one. How long since you've last been to Auckland? Probably like 13 years, 15 years, somewhere around there maybe. Let's make the Kiwi Lads massive, says Crumpus. And there as well. But Benetton, do they want the 3 here? Hamish, let us know, no rush. Help support your trips to Auckland, says Blues Nate. It's known as one of the more, I think it's the most expensive city in New Zealand. I think I saw, so that's not much fun. A line out throw now for Lucchese. Ready to put this one in, nicely taken at the front for Canoni. And Benetton looking to get this rolling. Maul marching forward. Do you live in the South Island? I do indeed, yep. Now driving. This is good, and that is a try for Benetton. And Archetype Rugby and Mark up in Mexico is a good listen, Amish. Should collab, says Mr. Orlin. I've never heard of Mark up in Mexico. I don't believe. I've heard of Archetype Rugby. I know that he is quite good. Mark up in Mexico. Okay, it's got some random bloke trying street food. I don't think that's the one, though. Possibly, okay. Oh, it's rugby with Mark, I think. Ah, okay. That'll explain why it didn't come up. Auckland, Wellington. Must be the most expensive one, says Sebastian, but now Marin. Chance to line this kick up. Sitting 1 from 2. And go the Sharks, says Ritzema. I will make the Kiwi Lads massive, says Krampus. Go the Sharks, says Ritzema there as well. And this is going to give them a bit more of a lead. A little bit of a breeze around at the moment. So Uren does have to hold that ball steady. And the kick has gone over. Now makes the score 15 points to 12 in favour of Benetton. So the Sharks now, for the first time in this contest, find themselves behind by, well, they had the 3-point deficit at the start, Benetton. I was about to say by more than 3, but it's still 3. So they're down by the same amount as they were in the first half early on. The Sharks must be careful or else they will lose this game. Says Monet Lagrange. Masuku now kicks it off high. And nicely taken inside of the 22 by Canoni again. Where's Butch James? Sharky, come on. Those two are up to something, eh? Exporting cartel busloads of future Mexican rugby boys, says Nate. But first you need to sign over all the rights to me. I don't think that's going to happen, Krampus, unfortunately. That one's gone into touch for the Sharks. Up at Lenefasi, thought about taking it quickly, decides against it in the end. Benetton starting to put the accelerator on, says Roof. And I feel like they've noticed at this stage that the Sharks have been, like, in the nicest way possible, they've been a little bit flat at the start of the second half. They've made all their changes, but it hasn't actually really helped them too much. But this is where they have to find that momentum again. Cameron Wright, short ball, great attack and run from Francois Fenta. Now in behind. Now, to the left-hand side, Gerbra Robela. Trying to look through at who else we have seen already changed for the Sharks. Make no mistake, Hamish is the best watch along channels. But for South African fans, we have loads of rugby channels in South Africa, like Megaphone Rugby, I assume that is. Says Albert. You can have 10%. 10% of a million is enough. That is true. And now getting closer to the line. Ral hits it up again. Got chances on either sides. Butch James is a commentator these days. Now nice run forward from Werner Koch. He breaks through and he reaches out and scores the try there, Werner Koch. That is exactly what the Sharks needed to get back into this contest. It's as if Benetton scoring actually woke them up and made them realise, hang on, we're now down again. Let's change it. But Werner Koch is 13th career try there. John Plumtree, he'll be happy with that one. And yes, says cross-boarding. We have got there, Krampus is a semi-troll, love it, creates interaction, says the bystander. Sharks use your teeth, says Julian. Like they've just said, the stadium, the crowd now back in this game. They were kind of down and out just before with that early try. That's better, Sharks, much better, says Mornay. And Sharkies, yay, kick it, says Ruth. I'm not a troll, that is slander, says Krampus. Like they'll see great determination shown. And here we go. The try festival has started. And yeah, the fact that we're in this first 10 minutes of the second half, we've already had 1 try per team, tells us that this end to the contest is far from being close. Masuku has got that kick over. So that is going to make the score now 19 points to 15 in favour of the Sharks. They're well away from the Mexican Maori. His name is Carlos. My Carlito, says Blues Note. Yeah, just great breaking of the line from Werner Hock. Just pure aggression, pure determination to make his way over the try line there. Now Jacob Umanga. Another change has been made this time for Benetton. So taken by Gerbrandt Grubbeler. So Cameron Wright will be rolling this one back for another box kick. And close to the touchline, but it's going to be well handled and beautifully taken by Rhino Smith. It's then dragged down by Machazolima Pimpy. I respect Krampus' truth. He lives in his own little world, says Albert. And bystanders, the troll, says Krampus. And there as well. Right, 9 has been told to use it in this case. Bring it high for Urin. And that's going to be contested in the air for Apelele who has managed to swat it back onto the side of the Sharks. Now Werner Hock looking for the pass on the outside. Now Polis is on the field for Lucanio Masuku. Nice pass to Machunu. Right. It's across to Masuku again. Apelele Fasi had the most running meters, the most clean breaks, the most defended beat, and the most tries and the most points, I believe it was, throughout that first half, or equal for 2 of those stats. Saracens are up by 13, but down to 13. Says Adele, so that could be a close finish in that game as well. What do you guys think about the new rules from World Rugby? I think that, like, until we see them in action, we're not going to know if it's actually going to help the game out. But I know that by them changing those rules, they're just causing more controversy at the moment. So you hope that they kind of help the game, but at the same time, like, there are rules that might start to annoy people even more. That's going to go backwards, they've said, for the Sharks. Chance now for the Sharks. 22 out. Looking for that inside ball. Thought about it. Finta, but he carries it. I can say those names like a South African Hamish. I keep it real, Albert, so my sheep don't get lost in the artificiality. That's going to be now turned over for Juan Inicio Brex, trying to run it forward from his own goal line. Always going to be challenging, but it seems like they've still got that ball available. Is Werner Cup leaving the Sharks? He is. I believe he's going to Ulster, someone said a little bit earlier on Nisi Ratave. This is his first carry of the game, and he's just broken through 3 tackles. If only he had the ball a little bit more throughout this contest. Krampus is mental, but he's a laugh, says Sebastian. And come on, the Sharks. The Sharks aren't losing. No wonder it's cold, says Gareth. Nicely taken by Makas Olimapimbi off the kick from Benetton. Now knock on from Fussy. And we will now go down for another scrum, this time still in favour. Alright, we will go like that. We will go like that as well. At the moment in the odds, the Sharks are favourites, which I guess you can expect with the fact that they are ahead at the moment by the 4 points. Loud noises, says Gareth. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I feel like I have to watch it again now. And come on, the Sharks, says Colleen. And also, yes, Ulster, says crossboarding. And ostrich meat is very nice, Says cross-boarding. They did sell it here in New Zealand, which I was quite surprised about, the fact that you could actually buy a part of an ostrich. And also, Ben O'Keefe wins the Australians Rugby World Cup, says Krampus. I think we're about to see the attendance of this game, maybe. Nope, never mind. It looked like they were going to show up for a second, and then they were like, no, never mind. We aren't going to do it. It looks like a decent crowd, though. I'd say about 10,000, maybe about the similar number to what we saw in the last game. A few kids in the stands actually had themselves the headgear on, getting ready to go, just in case the Sharks have any more injuries. You see a couple more changes have been made now. For Benetton, and it's gone down, and we're going to have another scrum reset, says Mike Adamson, the referee. There's still 26 minutes left. There's more than enough time for both of these sides to walk away with the victory. Sharks, they are one try away from getting themselves the bonus point. We have got there, Sharks have home ground advantage, but with the injuries, they'll play well to get over the line, says Rajin. Yeah, losing Etzebeth early, losing Lukanyoam, and also losing Vincent Koch is also, that's going to hurt them quite a bit. What time is it by you? Yawning, says Johannes. It is currently 3:26 a.m. here in New Zealand. And this is our fourth live stream of the day. So we've been consistent, I guess you'd say, but also at the same time, it is quite late here in New Zealand. Now off the bat, Kanoni. Let's give it away so that they can kick it downfield. Makazole Mapimpi, I think for half a second he considered the mark, and then from there he decided he would run it straight at this Benetton defensive line. Cameron Wright about to go to the left-hand side. Have you seen the Northampton Gloucester score? I have not. No, one moment. While Cameron Wright rolls this ball back. Premiership Rugby, what we got? Bit one-sided. 68-0, not exactly a score that Gloucester will be after. I assume that is because they're resting all their players for the Challenge Cup. I would assume, but that is an awful score for them up against the Saints, so we must be angry after getting defeated by Leinster. Ball still on the side of the Sharks at the moment, 45 metres out from their line. Looks like they will once again send this one up high. The Sharks not really playing the world on fire. And that they have lost the lead, says Stefan. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, the Sharks, it's hard to stay motivated when you know that you aren't going to win this competition, if that makes sense. Like, the Challenge Cup, they were fired up for their game up against Clermont, and they stepped up and got themselves the win. Whereas these games, because they can't make the top 8 from here, they just haven't really got that same urgency that they once had, although this looks good for them. Out wide, chance down the wing. The man gets close. Now Jacobs. Another advantage in favour of the Sharks as well here. I see that Robler is still on the field, and same with Fento, I believe is the other man. Now Werner Koch stepping, and he's over again, Werner Koch. He's too dangerous when he gets close to the try line. The Sharks now get themselves the bonus point. And they're trying to make a statement here late in the contest. This game, the Sharks are denying the top 8 for Benetton, says Bystander. Exactly right, and they are helping the Lions possibly get that a little bit closer if they get their win over Cardiff just around the corner. Decided to watch Surrey and Bristol instead. Think New Zealand is going to win this match against Ireland, says Quintus. Ashish breaking now, says Mr. All In. Does anyone know where I can watch the South Africa Cup outside South Africa? I actually don't, unfortunately. I don't know where those games are being shown. But then the Koch again makes his way over. Hey, take care. Thanks, mate. Box soon says over. Yeah, we are getting closer to those July internationals. We will be covering them on the channel as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hamish, your cognitive abilities seem a little impaired, so don't operate heavy machinery after this. That's probably a fair statement. Like, we have been up for a long time. Still not as sleep deprived as we normally are after a weekend of rugby streaming. Like, we've only done like 14 hours of streaming this weekend, I think, or 13 hours rather than, oh, that's at both posts. And it's going to be missed by Masuku. But yeah, we've only done around that 12 or 14 throughout the weekend rather than how many we've done in the past, which was like last weekend with a cold, we did 20-ish. I've asked that many times with you, Peanut. Says bystander. And make sure that Discord the body, or to Discord the body, mate. I have business to attend to, says Flesh. So have a good night. Has George got in some longer shorts? He is not, no. So probably be wearing his short ones tomorrow as well. The worst thing is they've got a split right up the side now. So it's pretty much the only thing that holds his shorts together is the waistband. But he's a farm boy, so you can't expect too much more. Cameron Wright rolling this one back. 21 minutes remaining in this contest, and the score is 24 points to 15, ladies and gentlemen. Sharks, you can do it for the Stormers. Says Julian Moses. And that's going to be another penalty going the way of Benetton. And this game is not over yet, ladies and gents. If Benetton score themselves another try here, or if they go for the 3 points, that would actually put them within the 7. For them, they have to make... No, they got to go for the corner in this case. And yep, that's exactly what they're doing. Because Benetton need to remember here, if they lose this game, it's not good. If they lose it by less than 7, that's a bonus. If they lose this game by less than 7, but they have 4 tries on the board, they will get 2 points, which could be the crucial ones to get them towards that top 8. Definitely with how close it is at the moment on the overall standings. Here is the way that we currently sit, ladies and gentlemen. At the moment, they are sitting in 9th on the 44 points. We see there, if they were to get even 1 bonus point from this game, they would actually move up to 7th. The Lions, they are on 40. If they get themselves a big win, they could find themselves moving up to 7th at the end of their game up against Cardiff. Just talking about Upper Lilifasi and the kind of impact that that man has been able to have throughout these matches. Now, second scrum, I believe, of the half for Benetton. Or, sorry, that was actually, I think that was a rolling maul. I was clicking between tabs, checking the odds once again to see that the Sharks are heavy favourites, as expected, at this stage of the match, with a 9-point lead. It looks like Benetton are just going to slowly roll their way all the way to the try line. Uren is calling over more forwards and also the backs. That one's going to be wrestled down and into touch for the Sharks. Big mistake made. It seemed like the reinforcements didn't arrive on time, and it cost them the chance there. I had a drink to get over the Scarlet score. We love you, Sharks. Scoreboard correct, says Quintus. It certainly is. 24 points to 15. Great stuff. Keep up the momentum. Stefan has said the sun gets vitamin D from Krampus and another survivor rescue today. 5 days under the rubble. Collapsed 5-story building. Still many under the rubble. Says, oh, that is no good. But good that he was rescued, or she, whoever it was. Sharks versus the Cardiff next week in Durban, says crossboarding. And popcorn, there's going to be long banter. I'm listening, my eyes reading, me mouth eating. Sounds all right. Ball's there for the Sharks, and they have got themselves the penalty off their own line out. That is a massive bonus. But 19 minutes remaining now. It will be Biota Chamberlain. Looks to boot this one towards the touchline. He's got one job here, and make sure that this ball goes out. And he's done just that. There's a training match for the Sharks final in 2 weeks. Yeah, although how many players are they going to lose is the big question. They've already lost Etzebeth, Vincent Koch, Lukanyoam. I don't think Grant Williams went off with an injury, but if it was, that is another big hit for them. Which country do you support? Says Obi. I'm pretty impartial when it comes to the commentary. We've done so many games. Like I think we're up to about 1,500 live streams on the channel for matches of rugby that we find it pretty easy to call things down the middle without getting a little bit caught up with certain sides. If that makes sense. Are Benetton in pink? No, they are not. They are in their green and white for this contest. Sharks play the final on the 24th of May. Says William Moses. That's going to be nicely taken by Benetton. Counter coming from the Sharks. And they've managed to get the turnover with Gerbra Hrobala. Just back from a friend's child's 4th birthday. Saw somewhere it was your birthday too. Happy birthday, my friend. No, someone set you up there. Josh, someone said it was my birthday, even though my birthday's in December. But I do appreciate the birthday wishes. And hopefully they did enjoy their 4th birthday party. Now it's gone forward. Jacob Umanga looking for the gap. It's to pass it back across that Benetton 11. Looks like a prop, says Albert. So that is Onisi Ratabe. He's a beast. When he's over the ball, you're not moving him, is the best way of describing it. Another chance for Benetton. They're out in front here. This could be 3. In fact, they probably won't have too many easier chances to get a 3-pointer than this one right here. Wonder what the plan will be here. Whether you go for the 3. No, they're going for the corner again. They've decided that they've got to be aggressive here. And I still feel like that is the right decision in this case. Here's the nephew of Tana Umanga. They are just saying, did someone mention birthday? No. Cool story, because you'll start it again. Namani Nadolo was another winger. The body of a prop. Says Sebastian, they're looking to roll this one forward here. Benetton. It's going to be hard to get it moving forward. Now they're going to use their back line. At times Zanon heading the ball up. Replacement. Bernasconi. And Bilta leaving. Bosch leaving. We finally get rid of the bad fly halves. We've been collecting like Pokemon. Passed out wide. It was forward. Ooh. That was unfortunate. Regina said, you make such a good commentator. I remember following a game whom New Zealand was playing the Kiwis. You were so neutral, says Regine. But I've always found that by being neutral, you give the opportunity to both sets of fans to enjoy the game. Whereas if you're calling it and you're only backing one side, it makes it very hard for the team that like you aren't calling the game for, if that makes sense. Like the team that you're not really sounding like you're supporting, it makes it very hard for their supporters to get involved and get invested in it. This is the last game for the weekend, Emmy. It is not. We have got the Under-20 Rugby Championship tomorrow that we are going to be covering on the channel, although we are possibly only doing the 1 game rather than the 2. And so true, says Regine. And time for a pub and beer bystander. No one or no time to cry, crack on. And it's cold and dark in Durban. And also we're good there. Thanks, Kiwi lads. Deserve the medal, says Roof. Now we're 65 minutes through. That try being disallowed, though, it hurt Benetton a little bit. I would have much preferred for it to be a successful try, of course. Currently the Fireflies are out at Durban, or in Durban, Kings Park Stadium. Okay, they're just talking about Manoncello. I think he is back out on the field from his HIA. A bit of a mistake there. Oh my goodness, that is bad from the Sharks. Like they've just mentioned, could be the softest try you will ever see. They went back into the pocket. The ball was not going to a player. Everyone stood there and looked at it. And they went, yeah, we'll give that a go. This is going to be a TMO decision for, like I mentioned, and like they mentioned, one of the softest tries you will see in the URC if it is a try here. So to Hendricks, Grant, Williams, and Sia as halfbacks. Says 1, 2, 3 MS. Who are they going to have? Oh, they're just checking the TMO. The Sharks are thinking too much of the Challenge Cup. Right, here we go. Did Marcus Olimipimpi get this one down? Just Mapimpi. And the thinnest of margins gets that one down. The sun's up fussy. When he's good, he's good. But that was bad, says Elbert. Yeah, I was praising him before for how much work he's done throughout this game and how crucial he has been. And then a type of moment like that that could have easily cost the try. And sorry, personal leaked into the chat. Says bystander. And running away now, says Mr. Orland. So it's going to be a scrum 5 metres out because it was taken back by the Sharks. Like I said, it was within centimetres of a chance of another try. Makazole Mapimpi will not be happy with that one. Only 15 minutes remaining. Well, there's a man dressed as the Joker and someone dressed as Harley Quinn as well. And take a week's holiday and shag the sad out of you. Always works, says Crumpus. Currently 14 and a half minutes remaining in this contest. Currently Sharks still favourites, I do see. But that is understandable. But if Benetton score now, perhaps those odds take a little bit of a drastic change. 2 more try Sharks, just 2 more. And I should mention that the Sharks have already got themselves the bonus point in this contest. The Sharks, or the Benetton side, need 2 more. That is Harley Quinn. I think I said Harley Quinn, didn't I? And also the Joker with her, or with him. Her, I should say. They've just said there is still drama to come in this contest. Can they get the job done? Actually, Beauty, thanks again. Says Ruth. As the table currently sits, Benetton would still be in 9th. The Sharks would get themselves up a little bit closer to the top 8, but still not enough to be able to get themselves a win or get themselves a quarterfinal spot. The Lions must also win tonight. And come on, the Sharks. Oh, we can do it. Win, boys, says Colleen Waite. No, that is the Harley Quinn. Says Al. What do you mean, the Harley Quinn? Like what? Like the actual person the thing's based off? I assume is what you're saying. I didn't even know Harley Quinn was a real person. Now 14 minutes left. Another scrum feed here. And 4 Irish in the playoffs, 1 too many. Says 123 MS. I'm messing with you. I was going to say, like, seems a bit weird that she's just at a random South African game. I thought you meant Margot Robbie for a start. That she had gone to a game over there. There we go. It's got the You Rocked Ruth. And thanks, Sebastian, says Ruth. In there as well. Okay, we've used up another minute of the clock's time for the fact that this scrum has gone down a couple more times. Crowd cheering for someone. Says, cool story, bro. Of course, the big thing for them here is going to be try and close out this game on a high. Get a big try here for Benetton. Get back into the contest. They've got Uren about to... Oh, in fact, no, sorry. It's actually Duvenage. Who was in charge. The original Harley Quinn is Arlene Sorkin. I'll never forget that, Hamish. Never. Arlene Sorkin. I will forget it by next week, Sebastian, but that's okay. You'll remind me. I hope. Now passed out wide, loose ball. Benetton, it's ugly. And Upper Lily Fussy was getting back to be able to catch up with it, but Jacob Umunga is down on the ground. Counter ruck coming from the Sharks. She's all over the place at the moment, but the hands were down for the replacement number 20 for the Sharks. Win this one as Maviseri. Got a little bit scrappy there for a second. Now kick downfield. I think there's another injury. I'm not sure whether it's... Oh, it is actually a Benetton player who is down currently. That is, of course, not what we want to see. And nope, shag the sad out, says Crumpus in there as well. Now, 12 minutes remaining. This game, I feel like we've had a little patch here where it hasn't really gone anywhere. Both sides having a few good moments, but overall it's just either a handling error or a penalty that ends up stopping that momentum right near the end. One moment, I am about to sneeze, so I'll quickly mute myself, pop off to the side. We are good. So far, they are showing the stats. 410 metres carried for the Sharks compared to the 343 from Benetton. Carries are actually pretty even. 98 for the Sharks, 94 for Benetton. Possession just a little bit in favour of Benetton here in this game as well. The sand has to come out, says Sebastian. And there as well. Marcus Oliver, I think he's got bored out on that wing. He wants a bit more action, the Ducks. Should be based in Invercargill. Or the Sharks, sorry, says Peter Borta. That lady's doing front flips on the sideline. Why is she doing that then? Just for fun? I assume she's like hired by the Sharks to do her front flips. But why? I guess it's to hype them up. Oh my God, it's getting worse. 85-0 in that game for Northampton over Gloucester. That has to be the biggest one-sided affair in Premiership for quite some time, doesn't it? Like, we've seen teams bring up 50, we've seen teams sometimes reach 60, but to have 85 is pretty crazy. Front flips for the only fans, and the stripper's gone. Says Gold Story, bro. Nice pass on the outside. This is another chance for Benetton. Putting in the big solid fend on Cameron White. And the ball is turned over by Maviseri. And they've got this one again. They're using thirds. Says 1, 2, 3 MS. I assume that Gloucester are because they've got that big game coming up in a couple of weeks' time up against the Sharks. We have gone with a relatively strong lineup here in this contest. Sharks nearly just hold on. Says Julian and Subrabi had scores like that. Says Gold Story, bro. But yeah, Premiership doesn't normally have games quite that one-sided. Normally, anyway. 85-0 is crazy, and there's still 7 minutes left. Oh, okay, we'll have a guess, ladies and gentlemen. Northampton versus Gloucester. Will Northampton get 100 points? They've got 15 points to get in 7 minutes. Can they do it? We've seen 22 tackles missed from Benetton in this contest. 13 missed by the Sharks. I agree, Hamish, very scrappy game, says Quintus. And it seemed like the first half was a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit smoother than the second 40 minutes. There's another penalty going the way of Benetton. At some point soon, they might actually consider taking a three-pointer. But they still need to be within the 7. And I think that is something that is a little bit concerning because they could get within the 7, and then if the Sharks take a 3, they're back outside of it. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they take the 3 here and then look to really crank it up. But look at bloody Gloucester embarrassing themselves in the Bollock Shark squad. It's confirmed. Challenge Cup is the Peasant Cup worthless, says Sebastian there. I'm sure that'll get a bit of a reaction, Sebastian, if that was what you're going for. Lining up this kick now, Jacob Umunga. It'll be about 32 metres out here. First kick. I think I said 32, and it is actually 32 metres out. That wasn't a bad estimation. Needs this kick to go over, or else they might have wasted a try-scoring opportunity. I was going to say, what is that comp? That's gone over. And now the score in this game after 72 minutes will be 24 points to 18. Now they are within a converted try of being able to get back into this contest, ladies and gents. I feel like it's going to be a little bit similar to that game that took place between the Bulls and Glasgow not too long ago. How it's all going to come down to who plays the better rugby throughout the last 10 minutes of this contest. The benefit for the Sharks, they've only got to play well for 8 minutes to get themselves over the line. And this one is going to be kicked off high into the Benetton 22, taken by Canoni. A solid game at 8, Lorenzo Canoni, but his job is not done quite yet. They're all wet and warm, says Krampus. It's going to be kicked high from De Vanache. Nicely taken under that ball, up a little fast. CCO and investigators don't care what the comp is as long as there is silverware in the cupboard. Says Albert. Now running sideways. Little flick on the inside. Time to get a little bit fancy by the looks of it for the Sharks as this game is close to its conclusion. Raul driven backwards. Ball is stripped and slapped back by Benetton. Juan Inicio breaks going nicely. Oh, the ball's knocked out of their hands. Great tackle from Makazole Mapimpi to bust it free. And Ulster's going to win their game, says Julian. Looks like maybe a bit of an injury here for Inicio Mendy. Benetton trying their best to get the win here. They currently sit in a position of 1 point rewarded if they were able to get themselves the scoreline closing exactly as it is. Now, as the table sits, that would actually still give them a bonus point, of course, and that would boost them up 2 spots. They would move up to 7th as the table currently sits. Of course, that can change as the competition does progress throughout this round, but I feel like they'd be more than happy with sitting with a 1 point from this game in South Africa. They'll be even happier if they can score themselves another try here. The Lions, they will be eagerly watching on for this game, hoping to see Benetton receive 0 points so that if they get themselves a big win in their contest up against Cardiff, they can be the team that go up to 7th place. And that game up against Cardiff is just around the corner, ladies and gents. It is going to be taking place at 4 a.m. New Zealand time, I believe. Well, looks like the lower back of Aminu has actually been injured there. We've seen 11 handling errors from the Sharks, just too many for a side that have the calibre of players that they do, Sebastian. But Sharks and Gloucester have not much left to play for this season. Sharks hope to go to the Championship Cup next season. So here's 1, 2, 3 MS down in the front row. We're going to have another reset here. This is a hard competition. Bulls 4th after doing great, or doing so well. So here's cool story, bro. Oh yeah, although they currently sit 2nd on the overall table. I should mention that that was before their game had taken place up against Glasgow. So they now sit in 2nd, and then Glasgow are on 60 points at the moment. Another scrum reset. Ferrari is back onto the field. Hamish, my man, says Damon Simon White, welcoming, I should say, mate. Hope you are keeping well. And the Sharks will get another 3 penalty kick points, then game over, says Quintus. And that is all they need. 1 more 3-pointer, and that should just about keep this game in their favour. Running it forward from Costa. Nice ball from Rubala. Got on the outside to Machunu. Look for the miracle offload. And it's ended up going into the hands of Sebastian Negri. But the Sharks have managed to get the turnover. They almost could have had the penalty. Cameron White fires it through his legs. They're back on the halfway line now. And always, brother, says David. Now Makazole Mapimpi showing his pace. And he's been dragged down well. Oh, that's an illegal clean out there. It's a bad one. And I think Francois Fenta, that is not a good shot. And that is probably going to be at least a yellow card here for the Sharks. Number 12. Looked like head-on-head contact. Sharks going to win, says Colleen, although the ill discipline there might end up costing them. And yes, if the Sharks win the Challenge Cup, they qualify for the Champions Cup. And Reset Gentleman says Blues Nate. They're going upstairs to check this with 5 minutes remaining on the clock here. It's going to be checking Francois. No, in fact, it is Costa. My apologies. Francois Fenta, a late change. Sorry, Amish, been on a business trip. Just got home. Thanks for your work again, says Gus. No worries at all. We've got more coming up. Rugby Championship. Boom, head on head. At least a yellow card. He'll be missing from the rest of this game. It's a hard one. In terms of the shot, that is. For me, it's a clear yellow card. Like I said, whether it's yellow or red, it is still going to be the end of the game. Sharks will win by 9 points. Watch this, says Andrew. This sounds like a red card, actually. Full-time in the end, Northampton. Yeah, 90-0. Not quite getting the 100. They should have tried a bit harder in that game. Benetton should help the Lions lose by more than 7 points. They're just showing the amount of time that he had to pull out of that challenge, and he did not. This is going to be a red card, ladies and gents. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You will be in here for this matchup. We have got the URC next weekend that we are also covering on the channel, but this is going to be a red card for the number 12 there, Costa. I actually just said that Mari Costa may have come off worse, but he is the one who led in with his head. Sharks being shadow, boxing themselves all season, and the shadow is winning. brutal way of putting it, but at the same time, yeah, like they've been their own worst enemy at times throughout this season. The amount of handling throughout a game that they do wrong, like in terms of the amount of drop ball that they have, does heavily hurt them. Time, says Mr. Orland, currently 75 minutes in, and it is now going to be another opportunity here for Benetton on the Sharks 22. Going to be thrown into the front. Nicely taken for Benetton. If they score and convert a try now, it might be enough to win the game, although that one's going to be picked up by Marcus Olema-Pimpi. Taken back by Benetton. She's a seesaw, thrown up and almost taken back by the Sharks again here. Sebastian Negri. Across Jacob Umanga. Almost there's a handling error. It's passed out wide. Big run coming forward from the big man. Ball on the inside. Vern the Clock almost drives him into touch. The ball is available for Benetton on the 22. Total BS, how much lower can he go, says WLK. Well, I think the point of it in that case is supposed to be not to hit the head on head, but instead be able to clean him out in a manner that doesn't make head contact. So because he led with his head is what got him in more trouble there. Whether it was a yellow or a red, he was still going to be off for the rest of this game. And he's come in with force as well, which I think was the other mitigating factor that they decided was bad enough. Now a little bit of round the back action from Inacio Mendy. 4.5 minutes left. And Benetton have not finished attacking. Here comes Jacob Umanga with some silky stepping. Sharks defence is not going to budge though. Sebastian Negri does well. And WLK will become rugby league soon with the new laws coming in. And back across to the right. Chance for Benetton to go through. Marco Zanon has Umanga with him. And Benetton score. A conversion to come here in this contest. Benetton were underdogs at the start of this match. The kick to come for, I believe it will be Jacob Umanga, who has the responsibilities. Like they've said, he's making full use of that 1 minute that you are allocated. But flat run from Marco Zanon, and then the pass away to Umanga when they had the space for Benetton. This game is not over yet, but it's getting a lot closer now, and Benetton have a chance to take the lead here if this kick is successful. Oh no, says Badman. 2 minutes remaining. He's got 40 seconds left of his shot clock. And of course, anyone who's wondering what that is, pretty much you have a certain amount of time to take a conversion. He will try and use every second that he can of this. But at the same time, you've got to make sure you get it over, or else you find yourself actually hurting yourself. Now 20 seconds remaining. The crowd are booing, of course. WDF says Quinton O'Neill. Chance for Benetton now to get this kick over. And Umanga has got it, giving the lead to Benetton 25 points to 24 with only 90 seconds remaining. The Sharks would only need a 3-point. These Euro teams don't miss. Says, cool story, bro, but it's a great finish from Jacob Umanga, who was celebrating it as he hit the ground. Might be the comeback win of the weekend. Says Mr. All-In. Kick downfield from Bilta Chamberlain. Benetton fire the kick back. That is the risk, but that is a fantastic kick from Rhino Smith. Probably one of his best of the day. The scoreboard does not want to give the lead to Benetton at the moment, ladies and gents, but there is still 1 minute remaining, and Benetton at the moment do have themselves a 1-point lead. 24 to 25. Like I mentioned, scoreboard does not seem like it wants to give them those points. Yes, we have Sharks bites to eat. And 2 Minute Noodles try is neater right now, says Blues Nate. It is the line-out throw. What other Sharks fan doesn't care about their URC? Because you don't, says Otaku. And there as well. Now 20 seconds remaining in this contest. If the Sharks win a penalty, they may be closing in on the opportunity to still win this game. Cameron White, what's he doing? What's he doing? He's going shorts. Where's... Okay, the ball's popped out the back. I thought Cameron Wright was going to try and run that one into touch and accept a 1-point loss there. Oh, it's knocked back by Matunu, but it is still going to be play on at the moment in this contest. That was close to the knock on though from the Sharks. They are within kicking distance for Masuku if they need him to. Now, they have not got themselves the penalty advantage as of yet though. Gubra Hrobala going to be tackled by the big number 6 for Benetton, who's had a tremendous game. Now getting a little bit closer here for the Sharks. Shocker, says Lee Jean. Now across, Werner Koch passes it into touch. That is the end of the game, and Benetton in South Africa have just defeated the Sharks. That will keep their hopes alive of making the top 8. That may just take away the Lions' hopes of making it to the quarterfinals. And that is the game. 1 point difference, the 78th minute try. Now look how much the win means to the Italians. Says Albert, yeah, they are in tears at the moment, this Benetton side. They went into this game probably expecting a much different result than they got here. Now, Benetton Rugby, massive step in the right direction and a massive step up on the overall table. Ladies and gentlemen, going into this game, they were ranked 9th. They will now move up to 7th. I believe they won't quite go ahead of Edinburgh, although it depends on what happens in Edinburgh's game, of course. A little bit later on, the benefit Edinburgh have is they have got a nice lead in terms of the amount of games that they have won. So Benetton, they are in 7th, and they have pushed Ulster outside of the top 8. Maybe we'll have to see exactly what that does for the overall table. Awesome stream, Hamish. Plumtree says Lionel, and thanks, Hamish Brewing Commentary. Congrats, Benetton. And I support the Sharks more in the Challenge Cup because they seem to do better there, says Otaku. And of course, they are still through to the final. They will be going head-to-head with Gloucester. It has taken place in 2 weeks' time, and we will be covering that game on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure, of course, to hit that subscribe button. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in for this contest. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we've got plenty more action coming around the corner, including the Rugby Championship Under-20s competition, which is getting very close, taking place in about 14 hours time or so. In fact, less than that, about 12 hours. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.